he was trying to find something. Welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and we are from the sidelines. And you know what? Here's what I wanted to say.
Oh,
Keep the applause going for Fletcher Hindy.
what?
Come on. I want to get on to Fox, so you've got to work with it.
We need a new name. We need a different name.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Keep your applause going for Tom and Brian, because that's who we are.
Well, we got the Brian right.
Actually, we've got to be sure that there's even applause.
And I work
The only way I could do it is add it in, because I don't think anyone does.
Canned
Well, I
applause.
work in diabetes, so it's like sugar cane, I suppose.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Weekend highlights, gentlemen. We've had round 5 completed. The year's flying by. While you're giving me your weekend highlights, I'll enjoy this wonderful cup of McDonald's coffee. Freshly brewed, creamy. Come on, McDonald's, get on board. No, seriously.
Steve's after some sponsorship. Give us the sponsorship dollars. We all need to quit our jobs.
Oh, I don't know we could do this as a day job. Oh, God, it's hard. Look, and you'll even notice they're sitting above me, as Tom quite rightly pointed out, is on the table as well.
No, you're looking up to us.
I don't know how that happened, but yeah, we're sitting on top of the world. One of us is.
Well,
Talk about highlights.
You're not really on top of the world. You're
We're
up
on a
there
slide.
with a few.
Yes.
You're only 2 wins ahead of South, and they're sitting rock bottom. So
Yeah.
rock bottom.
Rock bottom. Stone motherless.
Well, at least we've got a win. Anyway,
Yep.
highlights. Who wants to go first? I want your highlight.
I don't know. I think the highlight for me was Cherry Evans' 310th game, and
Yes.
the performance that my club put on to celebrate that game. That was exceptional.
Especially against a team like Penrith.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, I mean, a win's a win. It's a great win. Winning against Penrith is twice as sweet, but Cherry's 310th game was a highlight. Not many players last 300 games, and
No.
Yeah, it couldn't have gone better for him.
No.
in 310 games, and I was reading somewhere that he's the highest number of games played with the same number on his back. So he's only ever started as halfback,
Okay.
which
Fair
is
enough.
which is pretty impressive.
All right,
you
we'll
know.
talk about that game soon. Tom, your highlights for the weekend?
We got our kitchen ready.
Hey,
Oh my god!
if that's the highlight, then that's
Well,
all we've got
sorry,
to
I
live with.
just haven't had time to watch a lot of footy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I want to get back to it
Your
soon.
highlight. You just repeat after me. My highlight is.
No.
Trust me.
Yeah, sure.
Trust me.
My highlight is, I don't have to say the other bit.
Watching
Watching.
Parramatta
No.
get smashed up. Because that was my other highlight.
So maybe for Tom's benefit, we turn this into a renovation show for the next half an hour.
Oh, I talked about smashing.
Tell us about your kitchen.
Oh, stop it.
No. Ready to go.
All right, okay.
Hopefully next week.
All right. The weekend started with the Broncos Storm 34 beating the Broncos 32. This was a really good game. I just wish someone could tackle. But the attack was superb.
It was.
In fact, we talked, I think on our messenger thing, we said there's a couple of tries that were spectacular. And I love that Mam try. The fact that, and I love seeing a ball bounce and the opposition getting it, because it just teaches the team, don't let a ball bounce. And in fact, it bounced twice.
Well, yeah, and as I said, my highlight was Coates. He's jumped, and it seemed like he just stayed in the air.
Yeah, he did.
Like for like 3 or 4 seconds, just like I'm just waiting here in the air,
Well,
and here's the ball.
He pushed off the defender's back. So, I mean, that's a classic AFL mark.
Yeah.
It was I wouldn't know. I wouldn't watch that game.
Oh, well, I only
Unless
saw
you're
it
poking-
over, 25 years of my
sticking
life.
pokers in my eyes. But yeah, it was just exceptional, and I disagree. I think that it was the brilliant attacking game rather than poor defence. And I don't think I've ever said that about a game where 60 points were scored.
Well,
but
and that's the point.
it was
it was
exceptional.
a lot of
attacking game.
points were scored. 66 points, in fact.
And there are no teams that would have stopped most of that.
Oh no, they would have beaten anyone they played. The way they were playing.
Yeah, it was an exceptional game. Very high quality.
Yeah.
Very high quality.
Yep.
Tom?
I remember the man try. I remember seeing that.
I remember the man try.
We were out.
It was Thursday. He's an old man. It was days ago.
Well, we have a commitment on Thursday nights now, and so I had to come home and watch it late at night. So
So you still watched it?
I did watch it, but
Okay.
I sort of fast forwarded through.
Let's talk about the next game.
Let's talk. What was the next game?
Oh, the next game was the Bulldogs taking on the Roosters and thumping them.
Was this the game you watched?
It was. This is what I thought. If I'm at the right place, we'll see.
Oh, here we go.
You never get it, can you? Horror movie right down
Yeah,
on
we
TV.
got it.
That's
Should have recorded.
Yes,
We got it.
okay. Yes, it was a horror movie. That's exactly what it was.
For both teams.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it was the worst in a game of two halves because it was like 4 different teams played, you know,
Yeah.
two on either side. Look, you got to give the Dogs some credit. They were very good and they took their opportunities. You know, I'm still dubious about a couple of their early tries, but they were on top of us, and so really it's kind of a moot point. I thought there were a couple of forward passes, but either way, we weren't in the game in the first half, and then Teddy goes down, and Sam Walker goes down, and then Dom Young comes out of the line and knocks out Blake Taaffe, and yeah, that's the horror show.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things there. So
Yep.
The Bulldogs get to a 26-0 lead, I think it was,
Yep.
at halftime, and then the Roosters started losing players, and then for some reason the Dogs seemed to switch off.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I don't know. I think the Roosters actually switched on. They actually started playing
as they
football.
started losing players. So the young
Yeah.
tackle on Taaffe, Blake Taaffe.
Yeah. Robbo's delusional.
Well, I was going to say, I really think he's wrong with this one.
Look, how delusional is that? Oh, I've seen worse tackles with no penalties. Oh, my players. Mate, he knocked the bloke out.
And to
You can't-
argue an open hand doesn't matter when you hit him with your forearm.
You've knocked the bloke out. You've hit him in the head and knocked him out, as is justified by the judiciary of a couple of weeks on the sidelines.
Actually, I'm surprised he only got 2 weeks, to be honest. It was pretty blatant, and it was just reckless. I think
It was.
and he was trying to do something for the team, and he just got it all.
You know what I should do for the team? Share the peck machine.
I was going to say that photo of him walking off the field is going to be shown everywhere. That'll be a highlight.
Yeah, my wife asked if I could rewind.
Model on my own body.
It was a horrible first half. I mean, I think Luke Keary. You got to credit Luke Keary. He kicked on in the second. I don't know what he was doing in the first half, but he kicked on in the second half and really sparked them to do something. I think Angus Crichton has had the best start to his season.
He's actually playing quite well.
He's really, and there's a good combination between him and Crichton and Keary. But yeah, look, they just didn't have enough in the end. And you know, let's talk about Radley.
Well, I was surprised Radley was binned.
That was ridiculous.
I think
It was the Radley tax, though.
Yeah.
I think it was.
It was
I think
tax.
Robbo was right on this one.
Yeah.
It wasn't a classic hip drop. Yes, he did fall on his leg, but you know what? At the end of the day,
But the tackle was started by Connor Watson, and they basically tripped over each other.
It was.
yeah, I know.
it
But
was-
if you have a look, there's a
tackle.
still photo in the papers that showed the player's leg getting caught under Radley.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Well,
but that's just a tackle. That's going to happen.
Yeah, but basically, the only reason there was any injuries because Radley's knee hit his ankle on the way.
They should have
out.
played the Benny Hill music, seriously.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
I mean, but that robbed us of any chance of getting over the line with that game. And look, we probably didn't deserve it in the end, but it would have been nice to have a comeback with 11 players or 12 players on the field.
Okay.
Terrible. And the next few weeks are going to be shocking.
Brian, you sent me a note saying, should Robbo be under pressure? What are you referring to?
This is what I mean. And I'm saying this as a dyed-in-the-wool Manly supporter, and I'm sure you will as a South supporter as well, Steve. You look at that Roosters team and you go, every single one of those players would fit into any of our clubs. If we were to be given a pick of any of them, you'd be happy to have them, and so would every other club. Robbo and the Roosters have got all the brand new shiny toys. We always joke about the sombrero.
Yeah.
They lose an international, we buy an international.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's very glib for us to say that, but
This is not performing, are they?
that performance of that team is ridiculously poor.
Yeah.
And it's been poor for a long time. And you can only blame injuries so far, because I did send you, and I know we're going to... We're
going to talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk. We can just briefly gloss over it now. But there is every single club has injuries at the moment, and it's stacks of them.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's not just the Roosters, but as an example, the Storm have only had their first choice spine. It was the first time the Bellamy had his first choice spine in 647 days.
Yep.
You can't just blame injuries for your non-performance.
Yep. No.
Yeah, look, even as a Roosters fan, I'm starting to question. I mean, it's frustrating. People make jokes about our roster, and you look at the roster and that should be winning every week, And when we're not, it's incredibly frustrating, and it's coming down to the coach.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've said a couple of times that I think it's what the problem with South and the problem with Roosters. It's an aging roster, and Keary is not playing as good as he used to.
Except for on Friday.
I think he's
half a game.
He's propping the team up half the time. Really.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have to be. You've
No,
got Suwali. You've got a lot of young players.
Suwali has been a great disappointment this season. I think it's possibly because he's gone back to the centres. He switched to the wing last year, and he was fantastic. But my problem with the Roosters is, and it didn't particularly happen this week, but we have guys that are 195, 200 centimetres, and they're getting beaten to the jump by blokes much, much smaller than us. So there's something not right there. Keary said at the press conference last week, after this game, he was morose. He's sitting there and he said, that was embarrassing. And he said, we all have to have a good hard look at ourselves. He said, the people we've got in our team, he said, just shouldn't be happening. Yeah. So,
all right, we've got to move on. Knights 30, Dragons 10. This was a wet weather game, if you ever was.
Wet weather.
Yeah, I thought
the
Roosters game was wet, but jeez.
Wow, this was shocking. Did
you see the try that Ponga scored? He basically he started sliding 10 metres out with the ball. That was finally put it down.
It was like old 80s football with a leather ball and playing on the mudfield.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And there's some great skill by the Dragons, but they just couldn't go on with it, and the Knights just took it off them.
Yeah. That back flick from Lomax was sensational.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Absolutely.
I mean, Hunt had to be in place to get it in the first place.
That was the amazing thing. Yeah.
For the player who doesn't want to be at St George, jeez, he's playing well for them.
Yeah,
we say it every week, don't we?
Yeah, and take nothing off the Knights. They lost Tyson Frizzell early on in the week, and they've had to switch and change their halves, and they took it off the Dragons.
I think that guy Lucas, he's coming in.
Lucas,
he's been terrific.
It's good to see Hastings back too.
Yeah,
I really like him. I do.
Terrell Sloan. They said that he's still not reaching his potential.
He's still only young. Give him time.
He's been playing a lot of first grade, and they've been relying on him for a lot of first grade.
Yeah, no. I reckon he'll come good. Do we really want to talk about the Warriors and Rabbitohs 34-4?
How long we got?
I should
devote the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, we don't have it. I was devastated I couldn't get to this game beforehand. I was not devastated I couldn't get to the game afterwards.
Yes. It was.
I don't know. I actually don't want to talk about it because.
Oh, good. Okay.
No. Well, I really don't, because this has been the one game, and Souths have been the one club in the media all week.
Yes, I know.
There is nothing. I don't think there is anything we can add.
No.
What can we say? Has JD lost the dressing room? Well, we suspected that last year.
Yeah.
Souths have won 4 out of 20 games. Yeah.
5 out of 20 games.
5 out of 20 games.
1 out of 5 this year.
Latrell is in trouble. He's apologised to his teammates. Jack White, it's all been said.
Yeah.
It's all been said.
But what hasn't been said is how good the Warriors were.
Oh, yeah.
They I know Souths were bad, but honestly...
Yeah, it looks slick, don't they?
I tell you what, I reckon they can win. I honestly believe even at this early stage they can win the comp.
I think Roger makes a big difference.
Yep.
And I think they just have this. What's his name? Webster's just instilled this belief in them. Doesn't matter how many points we're down.
Yeah.
This is just another part of the process, and they just seem to have huge amount of resilience And I think that's something that was never there in the Warriors.
And what was said during the game too was that finally Sean Johnson isn't the one to make the play every single time. They're not just relying on him. There's so many other players. Wade Egan, for example.
And how good is Wade Egan? Oh,
Extremely well. And they are really. Honestly, I think they can challenge.
Yep.
I think they can. All right, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Let's talk about Sea Eagles 32, Panthers 18.
Yes.
What a win!
Yeah.
What a win!
It was a good win.
Yeah, it was a good win. I got to say.
That was I was the first 20 minutes. Manly were in it, but just.
Yeah.
And the Fox flashed up a stat. Taneli Paseka, who has been fantastic all year, had not taken a run.
Yeah, really.
Your biggest man on the field,
the
biggest man on the field,
yeah.
had not had a hit up in the first 15 minutes.
So I'm going to ask you, as a Manly supporter, I'm going to ask you the question.
Yep.
The Manly runaway try from the knock-on.
Yep.
Was it a knock-on?
No. But
it was every day of the week. I'm sorry, it was.
But the problem is, I think half the calls of knock-on are not. Like they go backwards. Plain and simple, they hit the hand and go backwards.
Yeah, but they never stop to look at it. Every other time it's a knock-on.
And they call it a knock-on.
And we argue that half the time because we see it's gone backwards and they go, okay.
And I think that the rule they're using at the moment is a knock-on effectively is loss of control of the ball when it's been passed to you. So technically, he lost control of the ball when it was, he didn't even probably know it was coming to him, but he lost control of the ball. It did go backwards, so it's a 50-50 call.
Yeah. I'm happy. He played the whistle.
Oh dear. Sorry.
And he's nearly there. I've been waiting for Kula to hit his straps for 3 years now.
Yeah. And
he's nearly there.
Yeah.
He runs with vigour. He hits that defensive line hard in attack.
Yeah.
And he nearly made 3 or 4 breaks.
Yeah.
He is so close to being a very, very good centre.
Yeah, he is.
And well done, DCE.
Yes.
Great
DCE, yeah.
Well deserved.
Absolutely.
He played such a good game.
Oh, it was unbelievable. And I think the change in that game was when and I'm happy to admit I was wrong. Brown.
Yeah, I've got that.
Brown. When we brought him, I thought, oh, what have we done? Couldn't make it at South. Reserve grade at the Roosters. Got cut by Parramatta of all clubs. What are we doing with this bloke? Like, why? That was the game changer.
He was off the field with suspension at the Roosters most of the time. We never got to see the best of him.
When
terrific.
When him and
Really
Taaffe
terrific.
came on, that changed the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
So, I was wrong.
Yeah. So Manly got this in them. That's the point.
Yeah.
They've got it in them.
Yeah,
they just
absolutely.
aren't always consistent enough.
Well, they're a very different team at Brookvale to away from Brookvale.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Can't beat
when we played the Roosters a couple of weeks ago, and we came out and the defense just stopped. The Roosters had nothing. They couldn't get the ball away.
Yeah.
Was at Brookvale.
Dolphins 26, Tigers 16. You know what? I'm happy to see the Tigers at least being competitive this year. I know they're still probably not going to win a lot of games.
Yep.
But geez, they're competitive and they're in it until the end.
My hot tip is I'm not tipping the Tigers again until Lachlan Gavin gets back. He makes a big difference to their attack.
Yeah.
And he, for a young kid, he is just exceptional putting that team around the park.
Yep.
They've got some headaches coming up within their halves because Dewey's got to come back at some point. I don't know how long he's been off for a long time.
Yeah, but they could probably slot him into lock.
Yeah. Dewey comes back on the bench.
And
comes back on the bench. Yeah.
The Dragons guy that came over.
I don't know. You're telling the story.
Jaden Sullivan. Yeah. So there's him. There's a few halves there. They're going to have to sort themselves out.
Better
I believe
to have too many than not enough.
I believe Appy got injured, did he?
HIA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's alright though.
Okay. Yeah.
He's back.
Yep. Oh, and Caesar's on a 1-year contract. He won't be there next year.
And the Dolphins are leading the comp.
I know.
What the heck?
Don't say that so no one can hear it. Say it loud and proud.
No,
they're
why would I be
Queenslanders.
proud about that?
And
Oh,
the
'cause they are-
two recruits got injured.
Yeah,
But
they. I think if you look back, they haven't played anyone substantial yet.
Bronx this week, it'll sort them out.
Well, that's right. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I
No,
think,
look,
you know,
but you know what? There's a winning feeling.
that's right.
And that's what I was going to say, is that when you're in a winning feeling,
Yep.
you feel
By
like
the way,
you're
let me
better than
say,
anybody.
and I love their coach, and I hope he finds a place next year.
Wonder where that would be.
Cowboys 35, Titans 22.
And I thought they turned it around, the Titans. I really did.
Well, they were coming from, 22-0 or something at one stage? And it looked like they were coming back, but...
Yeah.
I got nothing. I mean, technically, the Titans are average.
Yeah.
Like in attack, they just play simple block plays, and it wasn't until Brimson went to 5'8" and they started to go 3 passes wide that they made meters. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, a lot of clubs, you know, you go through your sets, and to get into your rhythm, you just play the simple block plays. That's fine, but obviously it's not working for them. Do something different,
Yeah.
Titans.
Was it this week that Chad Townsend hip drop? Did he hip drop?
Yeah,
Jaden Campbell, was that? This
Yeah,
week?
it was this week.
yeah.
That it looked a bit ugly, as
Yes.
I remember.
I wonder if he got suspended. I
Yeah,
don't
And-
recall checking that team.
Kyle Felt
Oh,
took
what
over
a,
Matty Bowen's try scoring
with an
record.
intercept.
He's such a good player. He's so underrated. He really is.
It's just one of those survivors. It's like Jordan Rapana. You know.
Yeah. And now Dez has lost his last 10 games now.
Yes.
Dez is in trouble.
Is he?
Well, I can't sack him. Because we all know he'll sue them.
Yeah. Isn't he still suing whoever it was he was with last time?
No, we've settled that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So he settled it.
Manly have these buckets of money as well.
He settled at the Dogs.
Yeah.
He settled at
Yes,
Manly.
yes.
Look, they won't get rid of him.
So we have a sombrero. They have a big beach
They-
bucket.
yeah, they've got a
big
beach
water
bucket,
bucket.
yeah.
They get
Yeah.
go down the beach and.
I don't know. If you're Justin Holbrook, you'd be sitting back laughing, wouldn't you? You'd just be there going, see, look.
Yeah, I know.
I had him competitive.
Raiders 41, Eels 8. This was...
Ryan,
What? I haven't said
be
anything.
nice.
This was a shock.
I will be
Parramatta
nice.
had nothing.
I never saw Parramatta win this game. I mean, the
I thought there'd be a lot more
Raiders could
competitive
score
than this.
points, and their halves just were all over the place.
Let me be nice. How good are the Raiders going?
Yeah.
Oh, that Xavier Savage try where strangers come, you know, off his left, off his right, passed around, and that was just exceptional. That was old school football.
Yeah,
Matt
but
Timoko, he's shocked me how much
Timiko's been
speed
playing
and
really
footwork
well.
he's got.
Yep.
He's tremendous. Yeah.
what's wrong with Parramatta? And don't talk about Moses because that's attack.
But I think
This
Moses,
is defence.
Moses
They
is
were-
key. Moses is
But
key.
Moses isn't the defending halfback. He wouldn't have stopped a lot of that anyway.
Yeah, maybe, but
You
but
know-
again, when he's not there, maybe their confidence is down.
I don't know what's wrong with Parramatta. I'm just happy they lost.
He doesn't really mean it. He's just saying it.
I mean it, Stephen, Janelle, all you rest of you Eel supporters.
He
I'm
tries
just
for
happy
about
they
a
lost.
nanosecond to be nice
No.
about Para, and then no.
No. Credit. You know what? I got sold. Give credit where credit's due. Parramatta deserve none from that match. And whoever the Dally M judge was, who gave Dylan Brown a point,
You're kidding.
yeah, I know. Rocks in their head.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And Sharks had the bye.
And Sharks had the bye. Round 6, gentlemen, starts this
Ladder.
weekend. Oh, you want to do the ladder?
You
Go
do
for it,
that,
Joel.
You're on top.
We've got, can you believe this or not, the Dolphins on top of the ladder. So we've got actually 4 teams on 8 points. Dolphins, Cowboys, Storms, Sharks. Then we've got a bunch of teams with 3 wins. Raiders, Warriors, Sea Eagles, Panthers. And that is I know, because the Tigers have had the bye.
It's noteworthy that
clear,
the top 4 have all had their bye too. So they've got 2 points out of that too.
a clear top 8 though. Then we have the Roosters and the Broncos and the Knights and the Bulldogs and the Eels and the Dragons all on 4 points. Then on for and against, Steve,
Yeah.
we have the Titans.
But But in our defence, we've won a game the Titans haven't.
Yeah, but
they've had a
true.
bye.
For and against, we have the Titans, who we just discussed have no defence and no attack. So that means there's only one team I haven't mentioned, Steve.
The Bunnies are on a roll, starting this weekend. JD will turn this team around somehow. I have no idea. All right.
No, you're in trouble.
Round 6, Knights and Roosters on Thursday night.
You can't see. I'm going to tip my team, of course, but I just think they're going to struggle. I just hope that they have.
Why is Teddy lying down, by the way?
Because he was concussed
Teddy got
last week.
concussed.
He's feeling better now. Okay. Look, I haven't looked at the team yet. I don't know what they're going to do with the halves.
The halves are Connor Watson and Luke Keary.
Yeah, Connor Watson. I don't know when the last time he played halves.
Look,
but,
let's face it. No Dom Young, who's been
Where's Sandon Smith?
He's got an elbow injury.
Oh, I see.
no Dom Young, who's been quite good in attack.
Yeah.
No Tedesco, who runs their defence, and no Sam Walker.
Yeah,
I'm going the Knights.
Yeah, look, and that's fair enough. I want to see a spirited performance by this team this week. Can they beat them? I'm not sure, but that's what I need to see.
I'm going Knights as well.
Yeah.
But by the way, don't listen to me. I'm tipping so poorly this year.
I'm not, though.
No, you're not. You're actually doing well. My super coach is doing well, by the way.
So is mine.
I'm above you.
I haven't lost a game yet.
I don't know how, because I haven't. I'm above you.
Oh, I lost one to
You
the
lost
Bows
one.
coming
Yeah.
first, yeah.
Come back into reality.
I've lost the first place. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Next game.
Storm Bulldogs.
Well, interestingly enough, Blake Taaffe's out.
Yeah.
And Stephen Crichton went to fullback in the second half of that game.
And
And,
it all fell apart.
well, I'm not suggesting it was just him. He was there for each of the tries that the Roosters scored, but surely he is not the answer at fullback. Surely he's not the answer.
Well, no, but everyone was saying when he goes there, he should be playing fullback, and I don't think he should be.
I know,
What
and
game
there's
are you looking at?
the Storm Bulldogs.
Oh, okay, I'm looking at you. So.
It's all right. He's tired.
He's old.
He's,
Yeah.
he's still thinking of his renovation.
Give me a month, I'll be on top of it again.
Yeah. So I'm going to, with that, go the Storm. I
Yeah,
was
me
always
too.
going to go the Storm.
Storm
even
at
if I
home.
couldn't. Yeah.
I said last week I'm never going to back against him.
Yep.
Tom?
Oh, yeah, it's not.
Broncos and Dolphins.
Reece Walsh and Ezra Mann both named.
Bronx.
No, Adam Reynolds in, out.
Adam Reynolds is out.
think
Jock
he'll be out for a
Madden
few weeks,
is
I think.
in.
Yeah.
So
But Dolphins have quite a few injuries too.
no, it doesn't matter. Felice Kafusi, Herbie Farnsworth, Donahue.
Egan, Tom
Yeah.
Fleeter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got some decent outs.
Well, Fleetwood's playing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because he had.
Yeah, he was going to be
ACL.
named, but they're not sure yet.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
So
Yeah.
Broncos for me.
Yeah,
Broncos.
Broncos.
Okay. Warriors and Sea Eagles.
Good game as well.
In New Zealand.
Good game.
And New Zealand.
I think
New
this will
Zealand.
be close, but I think the Warriors will get you at home.
Yeah, I think it'll be. You know, I was watching that Warriors game, and the only player that worried me, the Warriors in the Warriors South game, was Bundy Afoa. He just kept dropping the ball, and now he's got dropped. dropping. Nah, I reckon we have to take our form forward. I'm going to be going Manly. Garrick's out. Ben Travojevic moved to the centres, and Corey Woodell starting. So, pretty happy with that.
Eels Cowboys.
Cows.
Yeah, Cows.
Actually, can I just say Brad Arthur's made a lot of changes.
Yes.
I guess when your team gets lapped and they look that disinterested, you do make changes. But Simonson's in, Morgan Harper's in, Sean Russell, Dijon Arcee's at 5'8". That the young kid, what's his name? Blaze Talangi is back on the reserves bench. I think, yeah, he had to try something.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm going to go the Cows.
Tom?
Yeah, Cows. What about you?
Cows. Rabbitohs Sharks. So there's been a number of changes. So JD has made a number of changes to the Rabbitohs. So Jai Gray is in for Latrell Mitchell.
He didn't make that change. That was forced.
Yeah,
But he could have put White back.
I'm just
there.
saying
Made a
he's
lot of
in
changes.
for Latrell Mitchell. Tyrell Munro is in, which is good. So we've got a bit
He's
of
coming
speed
back
out
from injury,
wide.
so
Coming
let's
back
see
from
how he
injury.
goes.
Damien Cook has been dropped to 18th man. which I'm surprised about. Tallis Duncan has been dropped to reserves.
I'm more surprised
which
about that.
I'm disappointed in, because he was a good relief for Cameron Murray. Shaq is back.
Yeah, the Shaq is back.
The Shaq is back. So there's been a number of changes, and I look. I think a couple of weeks ago I said, it's about time that JD made a statement and just did something totally different.
Yep.
And I think this is leaning there, although I'm surprised with Cook. There's a couple of other changes I would make, but if you're doing as poorly as South is, you might as well try something. So I'm okay with this.
I think the Sharks will win this. But what's our read on the Sharks at the moment?
Well, see, I don't know. They're not consistent.
I agree.
I don't find them, and they're not consistent through a game.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're not 80 minutes at the moment.
And the thing was, if this was at home, if this was the Sharks playing at home, it doesn't matter who they're playing. I'm picking them.
Yeah.
But away, that inconsistency shows.
Yeah.
I'm still picking them.
But they are playing the Bunnies.
But how many weeks, Steve, does JD have left?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. If you listen to the media, he's got one. Depending on how well they play, he could see out another 4 or 5. But see, the argument is he plays well against the Sharks and wins.
Yep.
They then have a bye. They then have Penrith and Melbourne. So I don't think. I honestly don't think he's got any. He's got more than one, because you're not going to win those.
Is Ben Hornby going to fill his role?
For this season, maybe, yeah.
But Ben isn't Ben.
He's a nice guy. He's too much of a nice guy.
He's part of. He's already there. He's part of. I think if you're already on the coaching staff there, you're part of the problem.
Well, I don't know. But the options they're looking at apparently is Wayne Bennett coming back.
But that won't be till next year.
That wouldn't be till next year. That's why you put Hornby in. You just write off the year. Just say, okay, now it's a rebuild year. Let's see who wants to play and who doesn't.
What?
Last time we got the spoon.
15 years ago. Wasn't that long ago. It was in my lifetime. In fact, I've had about 10 in my lifetime. So, and the other option is Michael Maguire, which I wouldn't mind to see Michael Maguire.
How the NSWRL going to feel about that?
Who cares?
Well, they can sack him.
They can. So, but that's a decision he would need to make. And maybe they'd say to him, "Listen, do it for this year, and then we'll reassess next year."
Yeah.
But I don't know if South would want him doing.
Well, that's it. I've heard little rumours too about Justin Holbrook.
Yeah, no.
So coming across from the Roosters, and it might just be that I have way too much time listening to callback radio. But Mick Potter, who would be very interesting.
No,
the Walker brothers. They made some news today.
No, the team South need a big name. They need a strong coach. We've tried JD with getting an assistant to come up. It hasn't worked. We need a strong coach. Tigers and Dragons, gentlemen. After that,
I said I wasn't picking Tigers again, but I'm picking the Tigers.
Good to see you can stick with your word. Man of your word. That's good.
I think it's a bit tight game.
I'm actually going Dragons.
What? You're that scared of Barry?
Yeah.
I'm splintering on this one.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a tough game, but I think the Tigers have shown enough. They've had more energy than the Dragons. So I'm going Tigers.
Okay, you convinced me. I'll go the Tigers.
You're going Tigers. Okay. Raiders and Titans.
Raiders.
Is that even a question?
Young Chevy Stewart gets his chance at fullback.
Chevy Stewart.
Chevy Stewart.
Chevy Stewart. So Cronulla Jr. poached over to the Raiders a couple of years ago. Apparently he's absolutely dynamite. And he's just biding his time. So, yeah, I'm really keen to see how he goes.
Okay. I'm going Raiders. Tom?
Raiders.
Yeah. Okay, and Penrith have the bye. Gentlemen, just before we wrap up, a couple of talking points. Brian, you want to make some points about injuries?
Yeah, look, I hinted on it earlier. Throughout the NRL, there's 80 current players injured.
And a lot of them are big names.
Yeah. So some of them are long-term injuries. So the Corey Harawira Naira and the young 5'8" from the Bulldogs with the neck injury. But the majority of them, there were I was reading somewhere that there were 20 injuries from last weekend's round. 20. It's including the HIAs and various others.
Yep.
That is a sensational injury toll.
Well, I don't know if sensational is the word you want to use.
Oh, sensationally bad.
Yes,
It's actually quite stunning. And in response to that, with the concussions, the NRL has thrown out the idea that they want to modify the way that kickoffs
got that written down, so go on.
are undertaken.
Yeah.
To try and minimise concussion. I think that is a very average idea.
It is.
There is nothing better, if you think back to your state of origin in particular, the big man running that first tackle, that collision, we're all on the edge of our seats waiting.
Yep.
I mentioned in the Manly game, Nathan Brown coming off the bench and making a difference. Mate, he was running off from the back fence. Like, he was literally starting at the back fence.
Yeah, and that's their argument, that players are running so hard into the defensive line. But
what do we do?
Well,
what do we do? Walk up to them and say, it's the first tackle after they kick it off. Please just tackle me gently.
But the argument is that they've done the stats. It's 3% of injuries come out of kickoffs. 3%.
Yep.
Concussions and the rest of it is 3%. The rest of the concussions come out of the general play in the game.
Yeah.
So if it's only 3%, what are you changing?
So do you understand the rule change that you can enlighten the viewers?
I don't think there should be a rule change.
Well,
that doesn't answer the question.
No, what they're suggesting is either a tap to start the game.
Yeah, I think that's dumb. It wasn't about the teams lining up.
Yep.
Well, that's what they've done in the NFL. So in the NFL, they've moved the teams closer, so you kick off.
Yep.
Okay, and there's a player catches the ball, and there's a certain distance he has to run before the defensive line can come at him, or something like that.
Yep.
And so they've narrowed it right down, and they've actually moved it so the defensive line's actually on the 30.
Right.
So the run is not. But half the time they don't run anyway. They take the ball and sit on a knee and take a mark.
Yep. Can I just say, you asked me what my solution would be. One of our listeners posted on the Facebook page, what old rule would you like to see brought back? 5 metre rule.
Oh, that's just dumb.
No, it's not dumb. It allows for better backline play, and there's less opportunity for that collision. If they're fair income, they bring it back.
What?
Like, that's the first thing you do. You don't worry about the kickoff, where you said it's a small percentage. If you're worried about the head injuries, you bring the teams closer together to lessen the impact.
We already complain.
Yep.
When the teams are refereed to a point where they're so close together that it doesn't give a lot of space for running and a lot of attack movement.
Yep.
You've got to narrow that down even more.
I remember going to the football back in the 80s, and the back line was set 40 metres away from the play of the ball. They knew it was coming. They just wouldn't be able to do anything about it. I just think that's the first thing you want to do if you want to get rid of that head injuries. Okay, but you can't ban a kickoff.
I never saw the 5 minutes.
Well, I don't think I need to ask you anything intelligent you want.
Yeah, because I've said it all.
That's not it. Okay. We better wrap it up. You are with Tom, Brian and Stephen. This is from the Sidelines. And gentlemen, is there anything intelligent you want to end the show with?
No.
Just that.
Do you want me to talk about this wonderful McDonald's cafe? Coffee again?
You have said the Warriors could be threats. When Manly knock them over this weekend in New Zealand, does that mean Manly are premiership threats?
No.
No. Manly will not beat the Warriors this weekend in New Zealand.
Oh,
will not beat the Warriors.
Please.
And in fact, Warriors will win by 10.
Isn't it? Sorry, just on a side note of that, isn't it interesting that the two 2011 Grand Final halfbacks are going at it this weekend in the best form of their careers? 2011, 13 years ago. Anyway, there you go.
Sorry, who was halfback in New Zealand in?
Sean Johnson. It was Sean Johnson versus Cherry Evans in 2011 Grand Final.
With the bad hair. That was an awful
and here we go, 13 years later, they're still playing and in better form. Yeah. Amazing.
Well, they're more mature.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, you think Johnson's in better form
than he was in 2011? Yeah.
He's more consistent. He's more consistent now.
His feet were good back then.
Team player. But he would do it.
Steve,
time to time.
You take either of them.
In a heartbeat. In fact, how about I take both of them?
Oh, yeah. Play one at 5'8", one at halfback.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that'd be deadly, wouldn't it?
Well,
All right.
you used to have to get Sean Johnson to become a Queenslander. That can't be too hard, can it?
Nah. West New Zealand, it's in Queensland.
You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is From the Sidelines. Go and have a look at our videos on Facebook and YouTube, or you can download this episode and other episodes on Spotify as well. So please share this amongst your friends and family and loved ones, I was going to say, but surely family and friends are loved ones. So
You hope so.
well, I hope so.
Maybe not.
Thanks for watching. See you all next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.